Hello friends, today we will see a topic called as free energy functions. To understand thermodynamics, it is very important to know two important free energy equation. One is Helmholtz free energy equation and other is Gibbs free energy equation. In a previous video lecture, we saw Helmholtz free energy equation. We will just revise that Helmholtz free energy equation is actually it is a function called as work function, and it represents the maximum amount of energy which is available for getting a work. So according to Helmholtz free energy, it is a extensive property. That means Helmholtz free energy is depends upon amount of substance, and it is also a state function. That means this free energy is depends on initial and final state of the system. The Helmholtz free energy equation is given by A is equal to E minus Ts. So what is A here? A is denoted as Helmholtz free energy. E is denoted as internal energy. T is the temperature and S is the entropy. If, as I said, if it is a state function, that means if Helmholtz free energy is a state function, then A1 and A2 are also Helmholtz free energy of the systems, okay, in its initial and final states. Then equation 1 can be written as A1 is equal to E1 minus T1S1 and A2 is equal to E2 minus T2S2. It is denoted as equation number 2. But E1 and E2 are internal energies of the system in initial and final state, and S1 and S2 are the entropies of the same system in its initial and final state respectively. Then above equation can be written as in the form of change in Helmholtz free energy of the system delta A. Change is denoted as delta. So delta A is equal to A2 minus A1, right? So if you put equation 2 in equation 3, then you will get delta A is equal to E2 minus T2S2 bracket complete minus E1 minus T1S1. At constant temperature T1 is equal to T2, which is equal to T. If the temperature is constant, then above equation can be written as delta A is equal to E2 minus E1. Now T is here common, S2 minus S1. So you will get equation number 5. Now if you rearrange above equation, that is equation number 5, then you will get delta A is equal to delta E minus T delta S. The equation number 6 we will get. For if the system is reversible, that means if there is a reversible process where at constant temperature delta S is equal to Q reversible upon T. This is very important equation of second law of thermodynamics. So you just rearrange equation 7, you will get T delta S, which is equal to Q reversible. We will get equation number 8. Now substituting equation 6, we will get what? Delta A is equal to delta E minus Q reversible. Okay. So according to first law of thermodynamics, delta E is, that is internal energy, change in internal energy. It is the product of Q plus W. Q means heat absorbed by that system, heat of the system, and W is the work done. That means it is the summation of heat plus work, that is nothing but change in internal energy. Then W reversible, that means work done in reversible process, W reversible is equal to delta E minus Q reversible. Okay, we will get equation number 11. Since the process is carried out reversibly, W can be represented as a maximum work. That means W max. Reversible process, that means we will get a maximum amount of work. So W max is equal to delta E minus Q reversible. Now you just compare that equation number 9 and 13. W max becomes equal to delta A, or minus W max is equal to minus delta A. This equation indicates that decrease in free energy minus delta A gives the maximum work that can be done by the system during the given change. This is equation is called, or this whole expression is called as Helmholtz free energy expression or equation. Okay, everybody understood? Now we will move to the next important free energy function, that is the Gibbs free energy function. This is another very important energy function in thermodynamics. A scientist J.W. Gibbs introduced another thermodynamic function known as Gibbs free energy. It relates to the net work done by the system. According to Gibbs free energy, delta G is an extensive property as like, and also a state function as like Helmholtz free energy. In last free energy function we saw Helmholtz free energy is also an extensive property and a state function. Similarly, Gibbs free energy is also a extensive property and a state function. The Gibbs free energy is given by relation G is equal to H minus Ts. Now here G1 and G2 are the initial and final states of Gibbs free energy of that system. Then G1 is equal to H1 minus T1 S1, G2 is equal to H2 minus T2 S2. This equation is called equation number 2. Here H1 and H2 are enthalpies of that system in initial and final state, and S1 and S2s are entropies of the same system in initial and final state respectively. Then change in free energies of the system is given by relation delta G is equal to G2 minus G1. That means final state of minus initial state. So delta G is equal to, you just put the values of G2 and G1, H2 minus T2 S2 in bracket minus bracket madhi, again H1 minus T1 S1 bracket complete. At constant temperature, again T1 is equal to T2 which is equal to T. At that time delta G is equal to H2 minus H1 minus T S2 minus S1. Similarly, we will get what delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S, just like Helmholtz free energy equation. At constant pressure here, delta H is equal to delta E plus P delta V. Okay, this is new equation that you have to remember. Now substitute equation 7 in equation 6, you will get what? Delta G is equal to delta E plus P delta V minus T delta S. But we know that delta A is equal to delta E minus T delta S. Then above equation can be written as delta G is equal to delta A plus P delta V. Now here equation number 9 gives the relation between free energy change and Helmholtz free energy. Delta G is equal to delta A plus P delta V. This is the relation between these two function, energy function. Since delta A is W max, so delta G, if you substitute the value of delta A in above equation, delta G is equal to W max plus P delta V, or minus delta G is equal to minus delta A minus P delta V. But work done due to expansion of gas against constant pressure is given by W expansion is equal to minus P delta V, or minus W expansion is equal to P delta V. So if you just put the value in delta G, you will get minus W max plus W expansion is equal to minus W max minus W expansion, that is nothing but minus W net. Net means total work done by the system, net work done by that particular system. So equation 12 indicates that decreasing Gibbs free energy, that is minus delta G, gives the net work that can be done by the system during the given change. So this equation or this whole expression is called the Gibbs free energy equation or expression. Now, what are the significance of Gibbs free energy change? So there are some important significance that is very important to understand. The change in Gibbs free energy enables to predict if the reaction is spontaneous or not. Whether the given reaction, dear student, try to understand whether the given process or reaction is spontaneous or not, that can be understood with the help of Gibbs free energy change. Now here, if delta G is negative, then reaction, always remember these three important significance. One is, if delta G is negative, reaction is positive. If delta G is positive, reaction is non-spontaneous. Remember, again I will repeat, delta G is negative, reaction is spontaneous. If delta G is positive, reaction is non-spontaneous. And if delta G is 0, that means reaction is at equilibrium. Okay, this can be understood in the given table. I have given some important terminology or sign of delta G, delta H and T delta S, and also conclusion. If delta sign of delta H is negative, see in serial number first. If sign of delta H is negative, that means change in enthalpy is negative. Okay. Here is some corrections. I will do that correction in next lectures. Then I will tell you. Okay. Okay, we'll stop here.